we're trying to get at, I guess, the root or the center of like why people hunt, right? And there's so many different ways to it, but it's also because and I can speak for you, I think in this, David, is like the three of us, like we feel it. Like when we hunt or why we hunt, like we feel it deep. And sometimes I don't know how to explain that to someone, especially somebody who doesn't hunt.
And you can't. You have to show them. You hear we all use the same tendencies to describe it. Mm-hmm. Oh, that adrenaline rush. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that adrenaline rush. It's the simple smell of standing in that some days you smell earth. You could be at a soccer game, at your kid's soccer game. You smell earth and it makes you think of hunting. Mm-hmm. You smell firewood burning somewhere and it makes you think of November 1st.
Yeah.
It's those little tiny things driving down the road and, you watch the road for 2 seconds and you're looking in a field for 2 seconds. That's the tendencies that when it just gets that deep involved in you that you can't explain to someone. I don't think that there's words for it. We'll continue to try because I hate to think that there's people out there that will never experience some of the things that the outdoors offers us.
Yeah. Do you think that there's some people in this industry that don't necessarily feel it like we think they should feel it?
I think some. I think some are maybe in it for the wrong reasons, hoping to make a lot of money. Maybe some of them are in it for. Maybe there are people that just like the killing aspect of it.
That's dark.
That's not me. I'm not wired that way. Yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I understand I'm killing an animal, but there's a remorse that goes along with that. Whether it's an animal I know or and so I'm trying to do it as humanely and quickly as possible, and there's a pride in it. It's more of an accomplishment, and knowing that what I'm accomplishing is also doing a good thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's sort of like this whole trail camera thing.
I know.
Right now, that's a big issue, right?
Yeah.
The states are banning it. They're probably rightfully so banning it because people are abusing it.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things too. And you can't describe it until you've done it, but like there are certain deer that I've harvested that like when I've killed them, like I feel like almost a killing remorse, not because I didn't want to kill it, but because like it's like that chapter's over. And it's a weird feeling because like you spend so much time, you are so vested in it, and then it happens and then you're like, shit, now what?
Yeah.
Well,
I would tell you the deer you'll see that will air this year is a deer that I had 6 years of history with. I have every single shed except for one.
Wow.
And I finally killed him this year. And it's almost shed season now. And I find myself going, well, if I go down and walk on the north end of I'm not going to find his sheds this year.
Yeah.
They're not going to be there. It's even to this day, one of those things. But at the same time, there's a new chapter.
Sure.
There's a new, and I learned so much from that deer.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned so much about myself in the persistence and how much patience does one guy have? How many days will you put in and let everyone go and you're just going to focus on this one deer?
Mm-hmm.
So you teach yourself, you learn a lot about yourself, that deer is teaching you. And he was 6 years old when he finally got an arrow. And I think he lived more than a healthy, happy life. So I understand, I'm not sad that we're eating him.
Yeah.
Not at all. That's what he was put here for.
Right.
So
can we talk a little bit about that strategy? Because I think that's a really cool one. That's something that Jared and I think can relate to, is like really like investing ourselves in a deer for, year after year. What were some of your strategies on that thing in terms of like, even leading up to the years that you didn't kill him versus the year that you did kill him?
I think that what people have to understand is you're going to go through a time in your life, I don't care who you are, where you're going to step into that role. It's not something that you don't just go out and start hunting and immediately start targeting one particular deer. If you do, you're living in a whole different world than me. I mean, I grew up, like I said, on the East Coast where I don't want to say if it's brown, it's down, but I was trying to kill a buck.
For sure.
But a spike was a trophy.
Yep.
When I moved to Arkansas, maybe a little bit bigger, forked horns, and it's got a basket rack of some sort. man, that is, and if you go look at the pictures, the smile is big then as it is with any deer I've killed in Iowa.
Yeah.
So it's all in perception of where you are. But then one day, you know, at least for me, it was that progression that, okay, now I bought my own piece of ground. We bought 47 acres that came with our house. And to kill my first deer on my own property, again, it didn't need to be big. That was just so cool. I sat there for what seemed like hours going, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe that I'm sitting here right now and this deer was on my property. I mean, if he had been 75 yards away, he'd have been on the neighbor's property. And it was just that he was here. And I can't put that into words for someone on what that felt like. But then as you start hunting more and more in Iowa here, and we have other ground that we're hunting, and all of a sudden you do see a deer that I saw him last year. Oh, and a definite, you know, that's him. Here's a deer that's got a recognizable kicker. He's got it again. All of a sudden, you do have that opportunity. Could I try to shoot that deer? And do I have the, you know, and then it becomes, for me, I've always referred to hunting as a chess game. And I love the game of chess. I'm not very good at it, but I love to sit there and spend my time. It's a mental process for me.